So recently I ran across this very unique tool on AliExpress, and this right here has a very unique name: new multifunctional folding tool knife, outdoor hiking, camping, EDC tool folding knife. If you have caught all that, you are a genius, but I would imagine most of you would just prefer a link down below, which I will share with you. Now, one of the reasons why I bought this tool is because of this hammer apparatus at the end. It has this glass breaker, which is, not my favorite on this end, but that's where they put it. At least it's not on the end right here. And then it has a strap cutter, the hammer end, and then a pry tool. Now, one of the unique things about this is you can actually use this as a Leatherman bit driver. Look at that. That's different. So it's got that bit right there. And then right here, it looks like you can use this as a 1/4 inch driver. So 1/4 inch on one side, maybe 4 millimeter. No, I think it's more like 5 millimeter on the other side. It looks like it would be something more like that. Yeah, so a very different tool. And then the strap cutter reminds me of the Leatherman Mutt a little bit. It looks like it is replaceable if you could ever find a little blade. I don't recall them selling extra blades, but that's a different evolution. And then we have this very bright blue. It comes in blue, black, and I think a gray perhaps. And then I think some of these are supposed to be like glow in the dark. On this side, these are Phillips, and then a straight micro screwdriver. This is like a Torx driver right there. And then these have magnets that keep this in. And then this small one on the bottom looks like some sort of very small Allen wrench. Now, there's not a bunch of information that comes with these, so you have to sort of guess what some of these tools are. There's a very long saw that locks into place. All right, so a saw on that side. We'll unlock this one. And then in the middle is one of the crown tools, I guess, of this tool. You have a very long bit driver. Now, this bit driver locks into place, but you have to be very intentional about it. The lock isn't extremely, you have to really pull this out, and you might have to help the lock a little bit, but it does have a lock. And then this bit driver, as you can see, is 5 millimeter. Now, as I've talked to you guys about, Dekoyu sells a 5 millimeter adapter. I've got several of those. Dekoyu sells this 5 millimeter adapter that you can just fit right in here. This one isn't deep enough to hit the ball detent, but you could still use it. Or you could cut this one down if you want to use it primarily only for this tool, and then you can use these 1/4 inch bits. So that's an option. All right, so there's the 5 millimeter bits right there. And then on the back of this tool, you can pull this out, and there are the 5 millimeter bits that come included. So it looks like we've got a couple flat Torx, and Phillips. And then I'm guessing this is a magnet on this side, yes, to keep them in. So that's how that works on the back side. Really unique, interesting setup right there. And then we've talked about the saw, we've talked about the bit driver that comes out, and then that's not all. We have a whistle. Now, inside this tool is a whistle and a ferro rod combination. I have seen this done several times. Roxxon has done this. I think Dekoyu did this as well. I think this is probably the worst. It is shrill, but I don't feel like it is extremely loud. The ferro rod, I mean, I'm sure you could probably use that. You have to scrape off the exterior, the black part. Usually the ferro rod works, and then this snaps into place. And then this has a very complicated system where it fits into these holes, and I don't know. I'm just not a fan of how this works. It's too hard to get in and it's too hard to get out. I'll put it back in there later. Not a fan of that. So I think that was poorly designed. It fits in far too securely to some extent. If you need it in a hurry, you would probably be maybe passed away before you could even use it. That might be extreme, but yeah. Now the knife looks very beefy. If you're interested in a tool that's mostly a knife, that's got a huge knife, this might be the one for you. This does lock into place, so that is very large. And then this is where your bits are on this side. And then on this side, you have this multifunctional tool, can opener, bottle opener, and then almost like the small screwdriver on the end as well. Those are most of the characteristics of this tool. I feel like this is a fantastic tool if it was designed by someone else. So if Nextool or Roxxon designed this tool, I think I would love it. But unfortunately, they've gotten a little cheap on the plastic. The plastic scales right here feel like they can bend and snap. They feel like if you would use this plastic, if you would leave this outside for a little bit, the weather might just crack it. I don't know. It doesn't feel that tough. These remind me of some of the inserts that Gerber infamously put in their MP800 that would always fall out. Overall, I'm impressed with the design of the tool, but not the execution. So I think they should have used better materials, charged a little bit more. And then of course, I'm always for the 1/4 inch bit driver or 4mm. But now that Decoyu does make that adapter, that does make things a lot easier. So it's not as big a deal, but it is a very interesting design. Comes in around $27. Now, I think I got it for around $20 on sale on AliExpress, so the prices do fluctuate, especially with the tariffs. And who knows what deals will be struck in the near future or have already been struck and how that will influence the market. But at the moment, this is somewhere around $30 on AliExpress. It comes with a sheath that is ultra generic. That is the tool. Very different design. It's got potential, but it needs to be made out of better materials.